Hey, what's up guys, Jaeky here. I'm a top 400 Radiant, and today I'm just gonna kind of go over like peaking principles and kind of like how I approach peaking angles to maximize my chances of winning the fight. So I don't really have a script for this video. I'm mainly just gonna be yapping, but hopefully you can find something informative here that will help you out in your ranked games. So for example, when I'm peaking showers here, obviously crosshair placement is really important. What I do is when I take this shower fight as a jet, obviously I'll pop dash first before I swing the angle, and then when I swing this off rip, I will cut this angle into different sections. So obviously you're going to do a crosshair placement here because there's a platform here, so their head would be around this level. And so I would obviously just peek this angle first, and then I would slowly cut this angle like this. And as this ramp slopes down, I kind of follow the angle down just in case they're playing on the ramp. So I just follow the ramp down, keeping head level, and then I move on to this angle right here where they're standing on the ground, head levels around right here. So then I would cut the angle like this until I eventually get into this deep angle, and then I just hold like this. So that's sort of like fundamentals of crosshair placement. I did make a video on crosshair placement, so if you want to check that out, you can. But that's basically just slicing the angles and making sure that you're not like aiming down here and then exposing yourself to all these angles at once. You want to kind of just isolate these fights while moving your crosshair until you end up at your destination. So yeah, that's how I take that showers fight. And then for example, another fight that I take is this fountain fight towards long B. And so when I'm peeking this angle, what I'll do is I'll peek the left angle first, and then there's sort of like two techniques in attack FPSs when you're peeking an angle. So obviously you have where you place your crosshair on the angle that you want to peek, and then you swing out so that your crosshair is on the angle already. So that's kind of pre-aiming the angle. And then the other technique is when you smooth the angle. So smoothing the angle is like when you take this first angle here, right? When you peek it, you're obviously going to be aiming head level. And then so when you smooth an angle, you mainly do this for like angles where people can play off angles. So this long B example is a great example of it, because typically oppers will hold like off angles here like this. Like sometimes they'll just stand in the middle here, or they'll just play like any amount of these off angles. So you want to smooth the angle, and what that basically lets you do is you can clear each and every angle one by one while smoothing it. So smoothing an angle is basically when you stick your crosshair onto the edge here of the wall and you follow the wall out slowly. So just like this is how you smooth an angle. And you can see like I'm slowly clearing each and every off angle by smoothing it. So I stick my crosshair right here, head level, and then I inch out slowly. And this is how I smooth an angle. And the thing with this long fight here is you actually see the opper first, just because of how the peak is, like how the view models work. So the gun is obviously going to be in the opper's right hand, and so you actually see their elbow first. You'll actually see their little elbow sticking out before they see your body. So if you actually smooth this low enough, you will actually get a glimpse of their elbow before they see you on their screen. So this fight here is actually very good for the person peeking from bottom long, because if you smooth it properly, you actually see the person on the angle before they see you. So yeah, for angles like that where you're on like a left-hand peek and you're peeking into their right-hand peek, it's very good to smooth the angle because you actually end up seeing them first. So that's how smoothing an angle works. And then another thing is swinging close versus swinging from far. So when you're close to a wall, you swing, versus when you're far away and then you swing. So there's disadvantages and there's advantages to doing both. The advantage of swinging from the close wall here is you appear to move faster on the enemy screen. So if you're holding from here and somebody swings you from close, their view model is gonna look like they're moving faster because just because of how the distance works. They're gonna be closer to you, and then so they appear like they're moving faster. And so this can help with wide swinging, like you can catch somebody off guard just by swinging out really fast. And then vice versa, if you're swinging from far, you're going to appear to swing slower on the enemy screen. But the advantage of swinging far is you actually see them. You get more of a chance to see them first before they see you. So it's more of an even fight in terms of visuals when you're swinging from far, because you see each other at roughly the same time. Whereas if you're swinging close, like if I'm swinging, like if I'm right here and there's a guy right here, he's going to be able to see my elbow first before I even see anything, right? Like literally right here, I see nothing on my screen. There's still a wall in front of my face, but from the enemy's perspective, they're going to see my elbow. And so that's the disadvantage from swinging like right up against the wall, is your enemy is going to be able to see you before you see them. But when you swing an angle from far, you kind of get rid of that disadvantage. So it's very situational how you swing somebody. Like if there was somebody opping this angle right here and I knew for sure that they were opping, I would opt to swing from close rather than swinging from far, just because swinging from far, if they have an op, the fight is leaned more heavily towards them, just because they can react a lot faster to me swinging from wide. And also with the gun disadvantage, I would probably lose that duel. Whereas if I swung the opper from close, like sure, they might see me first, but I appear to move a lot faster on their screen and I get more of an advantage because I'm actually closer to them. So it's a lot easier to hit this headshot from close range. And so if I swung out wide and fast, there's a chance the opper just whiffs on me because I'm moving, I appear to be moving faster on their screen. So yeah, I think for my playstyle, I rely a lot more on like methodical and slow aiming rather than like flicky aiming, which I actually prefer. I actually think calm and like relaxed aiming style is a lot more impressive than, you know, like the flicky and flashy aiming styles, which is why I opt to go for this aiming style. And so the biggest thing, if you want to like sort of mimic this aiming style, like notable players that use this aiming style is like Ye, Cryocells, Demon 1. Those players are more of those methodical aimers where they will rely mostly on their crosshair placement. Whereas like flicky aimers, I would say would be like Tens, Asuna, players like that, Suigetsu. Those players rely more on heavy mechanical flicks to hit their target rather than crosshair placement. Like obviously they're pro players, they still have amazing crosshair placement, but you kind of get what I'm trying to say. And so when I'm like fighting the showers angle, for example, you're gonna go, I like to go very slowly. So I clear this first angle and I hold for a sec and then I start smoothing it. So this entire way I'm going here, I will be smoothing this angle like this. And then once I end up here, I'll just hold for a bit while my teammate scales up. Or if I'm scaling up, then I will slowly move up like this, stopping every now and then just to hold in case this guy is trying to catch like a timing swing. But yeah, the main thing is always being conscious of where your crosshair is when you're moving around the map. That's the biggest thing. So like right here, when I take this fight, I envision this angle first, and then this angle, and then this angle. So the way I approach this fight when I arrive to this point is I will move my crosshair here, and through this wall is going to be this angle right here, right? So I move my crosshair here, and then I just use my movement keys to strafe out to clear this angle. And then the same thing with the next angle. So this is pre-aiming angles right here. What I'm doing is pre-aiming these angles. This is not smoothing. And so next angle is going to be here. And so I would move my crosshair to that corner, peek out, and then clear it. And then I move my crosshair to the next corner, which is this one right here. Move my crosshair there, and then I swing out to clear it. So that's pretty much how I sort of slice these angles using pre-aiming. And so I just pre-aim through the wall, and then I swing out to clear it. So a lot of this is getting good map knowledge, playing the game a lot, and just knowing these angles. That comes a lot with just playing the game a lot and getting the map knowledge down. And then after you get all that, you sort of know where all of these common angles that people like to play are. Like this heaven angle as well, you can pre-aim that if it's not smoked. And so you kind of get an idea of where to pre-aim as you play the game more. But yeah, that was just kind of like my little yap session. Hopefully you guys found something informative from this, but that's pretty much it. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.